He's alive. Cliff's live. Cliff's in the house. Let's go up a bit. Oh. Is that a bit bright? I suppose it is, but never mind. It is bright, isn't it? Should we shut the blind a little bit? It's a bit better. Hello there. You up there? How are you doing? I'm doing well. How are you doing? Let me just move you to one side, then I won't have to look at lots of different places at once. How about that? How about if I put you? Well, that's no good. Let's go a bit higher. Laptop in there or not? Oh yes, that's no good. Let's go a bit higher. How's that? Hi Chris. Yeah, I'm just playing around with the final settings, so as I'm not. There we go. I think that's it. You're up there, and I'm reading there, so never mind. It is what it is. You in the shed, Chris? The hangar, and by strange coincidence, I had a choice of mugs, 4 different mugs, but I got my dad's RC hanger mug. I said to Sal, I'm going to take the first mug that comes out the cupboard, and it was that. So there we are. Actually, I have a feeling, just bear with me. Oh, I'm breaking up, am I? Let me see, make sure I'm on the right thingamy-bob. Bear with me, probably am. Yeah, oh dear. Well, I don't know why I'm breaking up. Let me move the let me move things around a minute. I'm not very prepared. I was prepared, and then suddenly I'm not. Just let me scrape, move. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to lift this monitor up, put that out the way, put that down there, put that there. It won't help the what's it on the fort, but let's have a look at that. That might be easier for me to see, if nothing else. Yeah. Let me just. Oh, that's not normally in the way, is it? Oh dear, I'm not very organised, am I? You'll have to bear with me a moment. I don't want that in the picture. Bear with me. I'm going to put you on this side, like that. See how that looks. Let's see how that looks. Okay. Oh, that's better. I've got to go up there. Now, am I still breaking up? I probably am. I don't know why, but there you go. Sometimes you do, don't you? Oh, okay. Hopefully it was your end. These are brilliant. I love these. I just use them all the time. Best thing I ever bought. And they're heavier than you think. Hello, who else has popped in there? JCB, hello. Oh, good morning for you. 9:30, eh? And Jan. Okay, that's good. Breaking up is so hard to do. Well done, Bruce. I love your latest video, Bruce. That's really good. Really good. You put a lot of effort into that. I don't know how you do the other special effects, like the lipo charging station. I don't know. It's brilliant, but excellent. 4:30 a.m. Well, good morning to Bruce. Now, I've titled this my new fleet or something, didn't I? Um, so what am I talking about? I'm talking about, I don't know if you can see them amongst all this plethora of detritus. That's a nice word, isn't it? Okay, well, as you know, I'll explain. I've just done an intro to the video, but as you know, I do round the pole. But my round the pole isn't like the old-fashioned round the pole. It's radio control round the pole with the planes whizzing around on a fishing line. The original round the pole had a transformer, wires going out to a central pole, copper wires going back to an aeroplane, and probably scale electric motor and a hand controller for throttle to get it off and bring it down. Now, I've just been bequeathed, no, that's the wrong word, it's still alive. I've just come into 9 original round the pole models. They're probably 40 years old. Until I speak to Andrew, I don't know. But I've got 9 of them, and I've got to restore them. They've got, some have got damage, quite a lot of damage, and some have are okay to go. There's a plan on here. You probably can't see it. It's just I just downloaded it from AutoZone a couple of days ago. SE5 Keelcraft, a traditional model that they would use for around the pole. And the reason I downloaded that plan was because the top wing is missing on the SE5, and here it is. Can you see it? Yes, there it is. Look. Top wing was missing. So I downloaded the plan to make a new one. The wings need a bit of twisting in the steam just to get straight again. I've got to glue the fin on. I'm going to epoxy that because they're, believe it or not, they're covered in lightweight nylon, which is fantastic for strength, but not so good for gluing onto. So I'm going to use epoxy for that. But what I've just done this morning is just to knock out a new set of top wings and wing struts, and they'll go something like that. And I haven't got any lightweight nylon, so I'm going to cover them in tissue and paint it. But you know, there's one wing, so it's on its way to being fixed quite nicely. Quite pleased with those. Didn't take long at all. I had to repair. Is that repairing okay? I had to repair a broken main spar on this wing. I just cut a panel out on 3 sides and repaired it and put some fillets in, and so that's repaired. And took out the broken struts, which because I can get inside there to the fixings and in the bottom. So yeah, that one's just waiting for some glue to dry, and I can crack on with that. And I've cleaned it already, so that one's good to go. Possibly my 2 favourite models. I'll show you them all. My 2 favourite models are the Lysander, and for some reason the prop's hitting the cowl a bit, so I'll have to take the motor out. A lot of the models have 2 screws in the front, so presumably I can unscrew them and sort of take the motor out. But very pretty little model, quite pleased with that one. The wings are horribly bent on this side. It looks like they've had a break here and here, and I'm going to have to possibly open it up. But they seem, it seems, I don't know, it's almost like somebody's repaired them badly. So it might fly okay because it's not lifting. I don't know. No, it looks horrible, but you don't notice it with the camouflage. But yeah, very pretty, very nice. All these models are quite heavy. Just give some idea. Normally, these models, as Keelcraft rubber-powered models, would fly at about an ounce. Hi, Caroline. Colin, good afternoon, sir. Thank you very much for that. And did I miss something up there? Just let me scroll back there. Sorry, bear with me. It is important that I recognise contributors. Oh, no, it's Colin. That's good. Thank you very much, Colin. That's lovely. Appreciated. Which you like the Lysander, Chris, do you? It is a lovely plane. And do you know, I kind of like, it's so elegant. And I had a chance, I think it was about 1.5 years ago in the club, several models turned up from somebody's estate. and amongst them was quite a large Lysander. I think it had a 4-stroke in it, but it was a big model, and it was sitting there. The fuselage was sitting there. It was about a foot off the ground, you know. And I thought, no, I don't think I want that. But the wings were there, but I never fitted them on. And if I'd fitted them on, I think I would have fallen in love with it. So nice, yeah. Hello, Adam. Nice to drop in. No, you've missed the start. They're all around the Pole models. They're all about 40 years old, and they all found their way to me via a couple of other people because they knew I was into sort of small electric. They're electric, like it's Scalextric slot car, but they're the real McCoy with copper wires going out to them and that. So all I've got control of is the throttle to get them going, but I've got 9 of them. I'm just going to go through them. I've got an SE5 which I'm repairing, but I'm just showing the Lysander now. I was just talking about the weight of these. The weight is 4 ounces. They weigh 4 ounces. They should weigh less than an ounce, really. So that's how heavy they are. So, but the good thing about that is that when it's windy, I'll still be able to fly them. Because obviously we get a lot of wind, don't we? So I'm expecting some great fun this summer flying these and filming these. So that's the Lysander. I'll pop that one down there. Next up is a rather sorry Hurricane. As you can tell from the wings, it's seen better days. If I can't repair the wings, I'll just make a new set. Just download the plans. This one's a bit flexible on the tip. Oh, they're covered in nylon, you see. I don't know if you can see this. The trailing edge of the wing. See, it wavers up and down. That's just being pulled out of shape by the nylon. I might be able to steam it and bend it and move it. This one's got a bad kink in the trailing edge. I don't think I can repair that without certainly stripping off at least the bottom covering, duck egg blue on the bottom. But lovely aeroplane, beautiful. And interestingly, these are early Keelcraft kits where you had to make the cockpit out of celluloid yourself, bend it up, cut it, little tiny bits. So that's 3 bits, one over the top, the front panel, and the side panels. In the latest, well, they say latest, I think from the 80s, they were molded. So it's an old kit and very heavy. But that's a pretty aeroplane. Always like the Hurricane. I think proportionally the tailplane is bigger than it needs to be, but obviously. So that's that one there as well, which I'm quite pleased with. And they're filthy. I mean, they've been in this guy's garage for 10 years. He hadn't touched them for 10 years, and he's flown them for years before that. It's Lysander. Next up, let's go for German one. No, American, that's on the top. That'll do. We've got a rather nice P-51 Sky Bouncer sticker. I don't know if that's the name of a original P-51. But this was the only Keelcraft kit in its day that had a molded cockpit. Quite a big model, actually. So I don't know if you can see this. I've cleaned one half. You can see which half is clean. Well, especially on the tailplane. That's going to go nicely. I'm slightly concerned about the undercarriages because they've probably been flown off of a hard surface and landing in grass. And if these things fly as fast as I think they're going to, it's going to damage them. I just said to my wife, actually, I said, I'm going to put a concrete circle on the lawn. I got a funny look of disapproval. Now, Caroline. No, Caroline. I was also at the Model Engineer exhibition back in, must have been about 73, 72, 71 even perhaps. I think I saw you there actually. But yeah, so you had all the, I think it was at Earl's Court. you had all the booths down below selling the bits and bobs, and on the top there was this huge circular track. And I've got this fantastic memory of a Lancaster going around. And yeah, did you remember seeing a Lancaster? It's the only plane that made a huge impact on me at the time. And on the strength of that, I built the there was a kit from Harry Butler Models, Spitfire, all profile sheet. I built one, and I had it for years, but I never had the area to fly them, so I never flew it. But yeah, again, covered with nylon, so incredibly tough. Couldn't do this with a tissue covered model. So that's the Mustang, and I've got a plane there I'm not sure about. Maybe you guys know what it is. I'll pop that one there. I'll pick this one up next. Is this I've got a little Ditty. Look at that, isn't that sweet? Is that a P-47, something like that? Or Grumman Hellcat? I'm not really familiar. Pretty little aeroplane. I'll show you the. Oh, it's got a broken tailplane, easily fixed. I've just noticed there. A Wildcat, is it? Ah, thanks, Adam. Baron Flights there. Nick's just said I have met your friend Jeff today. Now, Jeff is one of my subscribers, and we've been communicating about indoor flying, and Jeff's getting the bug. And he lives up in the Midlands, and I put him on to Nick of the Baron Flights to try and get to their next flying session. So that'd be good if Jeff does. Is he a nice chap? He types very nicely. Hi Ron, thanks for looking in. Yes. It's I think you say a lot of people you recognise. Yeah, I think Bruce said last time. So it was a who's who of decrepit modelers or something. Yeah, that's good. So that's an F4F Wildcat. It's got the smallest motor. It's only a 3-inch prop. But funnily enough, I've also got another one of those. It looks like the same aeroplane to me, so it probably is. Oh, something flying over. It sounds twin engine. Great big spidery undercarriage on it. Keeps it out of the grass, which is good. But the wheels are small, so I'm almost certainly going to have to put down something in the garden to get it over the grass. You can tell it's aged because the tail wheel rubber is all splitting. Again, very pretty though. Nice looking model. They just hook on. They've all got a metal hook at the side, and they just hook on like that on a paper clip like that on the end of your line, and that attaches to the copper lines which go down to the transformer. But all you've got is throttle control, which is why they've got up elevator. The hinges on the elevators are just tin plate, and you can just bend them up or down depending to trim them out. So well, that's good. A couple of Wildcats there. Pop those down. Getting through them now. I'll leave the German planes till last because they're underneath. A really vintage looking Camel. Again, Keelcraft kit. Elevators are in trouble a bit. I'll sort those out. That one probably will just bend back up. That one needs a new hinge, that side. That's good, Nick. It's a shame you're 200 odd miles away for indoor flying. It's just a stretch too far. Nice. Hi, Dave. Thanks for looking in. It is nice. Nice. So that's number 7. Again, it needs a good clean, but apart from that, it's pretty much intact. None of these models have pilots, which I'm going to correct because, as you know, I do like pilots. The wire undercarriage. This is interesting. It's just plugged into little metal brackets that someone's found. But well, that one's broken. Andrew probably made these, and I shall meet him. Yeah, it turns out that this chap who's given up flying for donkey's years, I think he's in his 80s, of all the areas in the country can live, he lives about 2 miles from me. So what are the odds of that? So I've emailed him, said to contact him and find out some information. But it's going to be great if I can bring him up and fly with him. That's going to be the icing on the cake. And he said in a little covering letter, which he sent with the aeroplanes, hope someone will be able to put these to good use and have a bit of fun. Well, I think that's going to happen. Loads of fun, actually. So there's that one. I like the camel. I think I've built a couple, and I've got the big one, 5/5 scale, hanging up above my head. Anyway, on to the 2 German planes. Can anyone guess what the 2 German planes are? Oh, you can see it there. Can anyone guess? I'll give you a clue, big clue. Second World War. Second World War. Anyone? Guess. Go on. Whichever one you guess right, I'll pick up first. And I'm going to put it back down here and have a quick slurp. Okay, we've got 2 votes in. Well, it would be nice to have a Stuka, but I haven't got one. So you're on, Carolyn. It's okay. It's 3-1. You're all right. 3 of you are right. A rather nice, undamaged, no bullet holes. 109. I think it's 109. But again, the cockpit's made up out of 3 separate parts. No, I did say Second World War, Adam. And the other thing I haven't told you is, apart from the hook, they've all got a little plug on the side. Just see it under my finger there. Little 2-pin plug, so you plug your copper wire into that and hook your. Actually, yeah, I'll have to look into that. The copper wire must go. In fact, that hooks. Oh, this is it. It must go round that with the thing, and then a softer bit, we call it extra bit, will go into the plug. But yeah, look at that. That's a fine model. That's going to look fantastic. Oh, and the other good thing is I can fly two together on the poles, because I've got 2 sets of bearings, because the electricity current is passed through just ordinary roller bearings, and I've got 1 pole with 2 on, so I can run 2 airplanes at once. So when I picked these up from my contact, he's a huge Spitfire fan, and I said, "Come on now, Terry, where's the Spitfire?" Because there's got to have been one. Anyway, he denied it. They can go around. The Hurricane can chase the Messerschmitt around. So I'll have to train Sal up on the use thereof of the controllers, and because they're covered in nylon, a bit of luck, a propeller strike won't hurt them. So yeah, very, very pretty little aeroplane, that. Very nice. I'll leave that one up here a minute. And the last one, as you were guessing, is the FW190. Again, very pretty aeroplane. Look at that. Is it in my queue to watch that? Oh yeah. Hello, Ray. Thank you for looking in. Yes, we're all here. So quite a chunky fuselage on that, but very nice model. And I've built the rubber powered version of this, which flew very well. The Grillos anyway, it's slightly smaller, but again, very pretty. When these undercarriage is gangly, having to close up that way, huge wide track. Same, but unlike the Messerschmitt, which folds up the other way, same as the Spitfire. But again, another nice model which requires no. The wheel door is a little bit bent. Otherwise than that, tail wheel's missing. That's easily fixed. I think I've got one on the bench here somewhere. And this wing's quite warped. It is warped the right way in effect, because yeah, it is if it was this way, it would be lifting this wing and pushing it into the circle. So it's almost worth leaving, because you don't want to encourage it into the circle. You want to encourage it out of the circle, which is why they've got a little right rudder. So there it is, quite the haul. I'm really pleased with all of those. And oh, the other thing, I'll show you this as well. This is pretty good. I'll leave that one there in a minute. The company, there was two. There was something Butler, Harry Butler around the pole, and Ballards. I'm not sure if it's the same company or not, but all the stuff from Ballards has now gone to another chap, another company in the UK called RTP Hut. That is the round the pole hut, but his website's rtphut.co.uk. Yes, you can, Caroline. Ballards. Do you know, I never thought of that. But it shows you how it all works. It's very simple. Just a pole, a couple of controllers going through a power source. And the power source is on here in the brochure. There's different, because what happens is as the power goes down the line, of course, it gets less and less. So by the time you get to the model, 12 volts is suddenly 6 volts. So you've got to put down a higher voltage. It also depends on the length of your line, of course. But Ballards did these rather fancy controllers, which would go up to 48 volts. So really, they're bee's knees. But even then, back in the 80s, this was 90 quid. So it wasn't a cheap piece of kit. However, Phil at the Round the Pole Hut pointed me in the direction of a eBay listing of a guy up in London, which is 250 miles away, and he wouldn't post. He said won't post, but I'll tell you what he was selling. Hi Jeff, how you doing, mate? And he said he would post it down to me if I'd pay it, so it wasn't too expensive. So I've got this. Look at that, Ballards Round the Pole transformer, ammeter on the top, and this thing clicks around to 48 volts, different settings, and it's got outlets for 2 models. So this is the top of the range controller from Ballards themselves, and this is probably 40 years old. I've powered it up, and it all seems to work, which is great. So I've got the controller, I've got the pole, I've got oh, that's heavy. I've got all I've got to do is get the flying wires, which I'll get from the RTP Hut. I'll link to them somewhere. I'm going to, on my intro video, I started to do a little video on these this morning. Oh, I think that wing might have a break in it. Yeah, the top spar and the bottom spar are both broken. I'll have to open it up. Oh, look, it's got twin air intakes at the bottom. That's interesting. I'll have to open it up, which is what I've just done on the SE5. I've just opened it up on the bottom here and repaired the main spar and put some gussets in and what have you, and then stuck the patch back down that I cut off. So that's drying now. But for those who are late, but don't blame yourselves because I don't advertise it, I've downloaded the plan from AutoZone, which is on the bench here, and just knocked up the wing for the SE5 top wing, which was missing. So I've got the parts there and the struts, which I'll cover in tissue and paint because I haven't got any nylon. Never used nylon. So yeah, so it looks like the Messerschmitt needs a bit of repair. Hello, Ray. Oh, well, you've probably not heard of it because it's such an old idea now. They were big in the UK back in the 70s and 80s, and a lot of scout groups and air cadet groups would fly them because it was great intro to model building and model flying and controlling an aeroplane and learning all about aerodynamics. So yeah, it's it was a great sport at the time. Superseded, I mean, now, I mean, unheard of back in the day to fly these rate of control. It would be unheard of. But like I say, they are heavy, so it means I should be able to fly them in a good wind and have loads of fun right through our windy old summer. I won't be restricted to just morning and evening. As the wind drops, I can fly during the day. So I'm really excited about all those, actually. And I feel really lucky that I was the one that got contact. Well, there's nobody else. There's nobody else, as far as I know, in Devon and Cornwall and anywhere that still flies around the pole. You're probably excited. I'm excited about the Spitfire, my pink one. Yes, the thing is, Chris, I can get a 4.5 meter line in the garden just if I keep the hedges trimmed, which I will, or at least in a curve. But you can fly them on 2 meter lines, but because you still need, what's that, 12, 13 foot area. So if you had a decent front room, you could fly them indoors. In our last house, the top front bedroom was 16 foot square, which would give you 8 foot. Yeah, so that would give you a 2.5 meter line. Could have flown it indoors. That would have been fantastic. Still, that was our last house, not this one. Why, Dave's saying, why is RC skydiving not a bigger thing in the US? I don't know if they're not a big thing over here either, Dave. It's not unheard of, though. I do have a plan in an old aero modeling book. Must be a 1970s aero modeling book of a skydiver who is rate of control. That would be a laugh. Yeah, well, because because it's old. It's an old idea, and because YouTube's only been going for 2005. So before YouTube, unless you had a local air cadet group or something flying, you wouldn't have heard of it. So yeah, it's not that popular. But I aim to make it popular, and I can't believe Phil at the Round the Pole hut, the RTP hut, has still got all the bits, and he's got a quite big website. Let me just type it in that for those that rtphut.co.uk. It would help if I clicked on the chat box, wouldn't it? Dear, oh dear. RTPHUT. Do you know what? Touch type quite fast, but I can't touch type on a laptop. Those little tiny keys. roundthepollehut.co.uk. Yeah, I think that's right. I had a round the pole model with single channel elevator RC, 0.8 Weber Piccolo diesel engine. That sounds fascinating. So single channel, on the elevator. That would have been fantastic fun, Bruce. Because you've all seen my Spitfire finish now, haven't you? I've got to wait till next Sunday. Is the indoor flying down at Winnard's Perch. So I'm looking forward to that. It wasn't quite finished for the indoor flying at my local one, where you saw the Cub and the Trevor's Mini Yo-Yo Sportster flying, which he made a lovely job of, I must say. It was his first balsa build as well. He had to slightly change things around because he couldn't do thumbs up for the video. He couldn't do the laminating very well around the cockpit. So he's made it sort of straight and angular, but it's fine. Didn't notice. I'm just getting my Spitfire down. Hang on. So pleased with this. I was talking to my mum this morning, and I said, "Oh, I've made it pink," and she laughed. She said, "Pink? What'd you do it pink for?" I said, "Well, in honor of the pink Spitfires." She said, "They never had pink Spitfires." I said, "Well, you wouldn't have seen them, would you? See, because they were well camouflaged." But yeah, she's ready to go. And I told her the story of them. I'm really pleased with that cockpit, actually, really pleased. Here's the buck. The buck stops here. And the one that I nearly used, but was a little bit malformed at the front, that was the first one. Number 2 and 3 were terrible, and the 4th one came out okay. I kept that one anyway, just for a bit of fun. But really pleased with that. RTP speed flying. You could do. I'll tell you what I did do. I flew the minimum RC DH88 round the pole back in the autumn, and it was chuntering around. It normally takes about just over 4 seconds to fly around at a sort of reasonable speed. I opened the throttle on that, and I did about 2 or 3 circuits, and it was going around, I think, in half the speed, 2 seconds. Oh, it was too quick, and I thought in a minute something's going to give, and so I slowed it down. But it gets the old ticker going. This one would probably fly around the pole, but they're so light that you've got to fly them in absolutely zero wind. When you think that this is less than twice the weight of one of those other round the pole ones at 7 ounce, just over 7, and that's fully loaded, ready to go. Yeah, I'm quite pleased with the way the little these came out. My only fear is that the wings break in flight. If they do, I'll just make a new set of wings with ailerons and probably make them flat bottomed. It'll still be incredibly light, but it'll be a fun indoor model. So I have got a plan B which will work, but I just fancy doing. Originally I was going to do just the wingtips as ailerons, because I've seen an aeroplane with just those, a full scale one. I can't remember the name of it, but then I thought, well, let's just make the whole thing. Because John Woodfield down in Cornwall, the guy that flies the gliders on the coast, he was showing me his Keelcraft Invader, which has got twin fins at the back, originally a free flight glider. It's only similar span to that, 30-inch, something like that. But he put on all moving wings, and it flies great, really great. So only he's put his servos at the front. They're actually mounted in the fuselage, and the wing goes right down to the root, and it soars really well. And he flew it indoors down at Winnard's Perch, but he hasn't been back. You haven't been back, John, if you watch this. So I'm pleased with the way it came out. I haven't covered the underneath of the tailplane. No point. It's all drag, and drag makes them fly slow as well. So yeah. Hello, Dice Man. How you doing? A guinea hen in my backyard. Did you catch it? Is that something you can cook? Is that nothing like a guinea pig, is it? I love great. I love great tits. I thought it was gratis. Yeah, I love great tits. Good afternoon. It is very pretty in pink, isn't it? Yeah, I'm pleased I did it. And funnily enough, I don't know why, I move it down a bit. The covering on the tail has come out darker than the covering on the wings, but it's exactly the same piece of plastic that I cut it from. And it's not like it's double skinned. This bit's double skinned, so yes, it's darker, but also because it's lighter, it matches the fuselage a bit better, which is, it's a bit dark, but it does the job. Yeah, some nice little tricks I did on that, which I'm quite pleased with. The exhaust manifolds came out really nicely. One piece balsa, just zigzag cut on the laser, and then just filed down to form the little manifoldy shapes. So it was really quick to do, and it came out nice. Of course, we all know who's flying it, don't we? Who is in the house at the moment? Look at that, it's nearly the same colour pink as my head. It's Chris. it could be, Jeff. Could be. Yeah. It could be diffracting the light differently, couldn't it? Because it's flat. But it's almost the same shade as this, which is double skinned. Yeah. Don't know. But I'll tell you what, if you're used to a model like this, think, oh, you know, it's heavy, but it feels so light. It feels so light. Yeah. And I'm quite pleased with us. I don't know. I put on these double covers. I saw some pictures of Spitfires with double radiators, but they were only drawings. So I don't know if they really did have double radiators or not. But I had to have double to cover up the servos. So there it is. There it is, ready to go. 1 week to go. I better put it back up there. Do you know, I've got nowhere to put this. It's just sitting on the laser. I don't know if you saw the photograph on my community tab. It was sitting there. I'd just done some lasering, and it was sitting there, and I thought, wow, I've got to put a picture of that. Just let me put it back before I damage something. And the other thing that flew really nicely, of course, was the Cub, wasn't it? It flew very nicely at the indoor venue on Wednesday last. I've got something else here. This won't mean anything to anybody. It's ready to post off. I'm saying no more. Yeah. The silver canopy framing was correct, and now it's not. Hi, Paul. Thanks for looking in. Because the pink Spitfire was all pink, including the canopy frame, but I wasn't going to mask it up again and repaint it because originally it was going to be camo, so it's going to be spotted now. Did it? Thanks, Adam. So the Mark 9. So that's a Mark 9 Spitfire, actually, which is good. What I plan to do, Paul Jorgenf, what I plan to do is normally I just take off, and I'm pretty certain they'll fly, but I'm not about that one, and I'm not sure about the wing loading on the 2mm carbon, if it will break or not. So I've got to be gentle. So what I sort of plan to do, it's a long haul, so I'm going to sort of take off, and assuming it doesn't leap into the air, I'm going to just sort of work the ailerons, and if it looks like it's going to bank, then I'll reset and take off again and go for it. Like I said, if the worst comes to the worst and I break it, I'll just make a new wing. It won't take long to press the button on the old laser, and hey presto, I've still got a new wing. I've still got the original test one. Oops, that's bright. Test one I did here, actually. It's just made out of cardboard, this 2mm cardboard, but I made it up just to test the fit of things and see if the hole down the middle was lining up for the 2mm. That's just 2mm cardboard. You can see it's just laminated card on top of the ribs there. So in fact, it's actually cat food boxes, which are quite good. What I like to do is, I kept that because it just seemed a shame to scrumple it up. You know, you could probably even cover it, although there's no strength in it. What I like to do, if I'm cutting out something on the laser, I know one of my friends has got a small manufacturing business, and he said, "Oh, I've wasted 12 sheets of balsa today." So with that in mind, I just cut it out of cardboard, and if it fits, then I do it out of. It takes twice as long, but cardboard is virtually free, isn't it? And well, same with the SC5 wings that I've made for the up around the pole. I just cut those out on the laser, and boy, it whips around. But you can't. You've got to scan in the rib and trace it out, and then make sure the gaps are exactly 1/16 square and everything. It takes a lot longer to make them, but if I need to do it again, then I just press the button and it'll all come out. Hello, Jess. Jess is in the house, guys. I don't know how many people are watching. Oh, 24, 2 dozen. Oh, blimey. Last week I did a live stream just for members, and I think we had 3 or 4 select clientele, which was very nice. It's sort of like a bit more chilled, you know. I was just showing Jess, I was just showing everybody my collection of round the pole models, and what I had planned to do this afternoon is actually, thank you, was actually to start cleaning them because they're filthy, because they've been in this chap's garage for 10 years, and I've got just a spray bottle of water here, and I'm just gonna try and dust them off a bit, because your hands get horrible and filthy and you don't know what's living in the dust, do you? That looks nice. Honestly, I don't know. See, I'm not a big German aircraft. First World War, yeah, but not Second World War. They don't really do it for me, so I don't know much about them. Did do Mrs. Smith's that colour scheme? Probably did, I suppose. You know what I mean? Camo, I mean, they have their lovely little yellow bits on, which I knew. Oh, it's yellow under there as well. That's nice. I don't know why. Why would you have yellow on your plane? Surely that's going to make it a little bit too visible for the enemy. You probably know that, Adam. It's not Aguilos, Jess. It's Keelcraft. They were built by a chap in the 70s or 80s at the latest, and he's written me a little covering letter, and he said that they're Keelcraft, and I think they are slightly bigger than Aguilos, or at least the Focke-Wulf 190 is. Not by much, probably by, you know, half an inch and slightly different here and there, but these are covered in, I'll tell you something now, Ron. These are covered in nylon, so they're incredibly tough, which is probably ideal for around the pole in somebody's back garden. Now, Ron, you've mentioned yellow makes them look like the sun when seen against the blue sky. Well, yes, it does. Remind me what the sun is again. I can't remember. I'll tell you something now, Ron. Ron's mentioned Frog, the other big British manufacturer back in the day. Do you know what Frog actually was an acronym for something? And do you know what that something is? Not a lot of people know this, and I was told this by a chap whose father was something to do with the original factory setting up. Yeah, Frog stands for nothing to do with frogs. In fact, I can't remember if they used a frog in their logo or not. I've not heard of A6 models, Jess. Are they British? Not heard of them. Veron, nobody made round the pole models, guys. They're all converted from free flight rubber. The only models that were made specifically for round the pole, I think I'm right in saying, are all solid sheet ones, because of course profiles, piece of cake, anything will fly as a profile when it doesn't have to be that stable because it's tethered. Oh, the propeller, filthy. Looks like it's been in the mud. Well done, Ron. I hope you didn't Google that, but that's exactly right. Frog stands for flies right off the ground, which is quite good. I didn't know that when I was told. Well, you wouldn't, would you? You don't know anything till you're told. So there we are. That's the Messerschmitt, fixed up a bit, but it's got a broken spar there and a break here. But it's under the nylon, and the nylon is, you know, it's with a broken spar, I can still hold it. So I might just save myself a bit of work and get them flying before I worry about pulling them apart. The wheels are a bit mucky. All the wheels are this ages the kit, as well as the canopy being homemade. The fact they've got rubber tires. Obviously they were plastic latterly, but they've all got these nice rubber tires on, which is quite nice. So I'm dying to find out their exact build date. That's going to be really good. 109 if you haven't seen it, if you're late. The yellow was for ID. I tell you what, I saw a picture of. Chris put it up on his Facebook page. Focke-Wulf 190 having roundels painted on it. Obviously, it being captured, and there was I couldn't help but comment. Had to be careful in this modern woke age. There was like the guy in charge. I don't know who he was, like an officer, and the other person was a probably an engineer, but he's standing there with a cup of coffee in his hand, which I thought was just a modern day thing. And there was a lady in the middle. You could tell it was a lady. I'm not saying how. And she was painting the roundel. Hi, Tony. Thanks for looking in, mate. We've been going a few minutes now. Gosh, 51, in fact. They're neither, Jess. They're round the pole, electric round the pole. And they've all been made 30 or 40 years ago. And I'm just cleaning them up a bit because they've been sitting in the guy's garage for 10 years. He hasn't flown them for 10 years. So the girl in the middle was painting the roundel. Oh, did I say girl? Oh, it's obvious she was a girl. And making a nice job of it. But that's why when I painted, say, the roundels on my Spitfire, I wasn't too worried that they weren't perfect because all these things were hand painted. Nobody used masking and airbrushing and that. Everything's just, I mean, on a full scale, of course, any slight variation in the painting you're never going to notice anyway, but on the model it would be more obvious. But she was painting the roundel, and I thought it was just funny that there was 3 people there and only one person doing the work. This is great. I'm loving this. When you clean a model, do you know, you get more, it's getting a bit mucky now, let's get a new one. You get more in tune with the actual structure, and you can see where the damage is. It's like if you're going to buy a new car or a second-hand car, just wash it before you buy it and you'll see all the little bumps and scrapes that you'd never notice otherwise. Excuse me, sir, you've got a lovely car for sale. Yes? Would you like to test drive it? Well, I'd like to wash it first, if that's right with you. Carry on. Yeah, well, you know, a model's sitting in a garage. They get filthy, don't they? Can do. Depends on what you do in your garage, of course. Did she? Your mate's grandma painted roundels. Yeah, Bruce has just said that, yeah, 3 people doing the work, a government department. I'm surprised, modern day one, of course, the guy would have had a clipboard in his hand and a stopwatch, probably. I've got a new series starting soon, guys. That looks better, doesn't it? I'm pleased with that. That looks nice. Yeah. Wonder how she's going to fly. Oh, forgot the propeller again. I would imagine all these models are going to whip around at some speed because of the weight of them. Well, let's pop that one on the floor. Do you know what? My wife, these have been, let's do the Lysander, pretty little aeroplane, if you've not seen it. They've been sitting on the kitchen side and dining table in the conservatory for the past week. And now I've brought them in here to clean them. They're not allowed back out. I've actually got to fix up another shelf in the other room underneath my shelf of Micro Aces models because I've got nowhere to put them. Oh yeah, don't forget the safety there, Bruce. Yeah. So what's drone and Sunday? Something's auto corrected. Lysander, yep, very nice. A6 indoor free flight is a. Oh, sorry, of course it is. Yeah. Yes, that A6, the what do you call it? Type like F5J and all that business. Yes, I am going to fly them. They're all going to slow flyer 85. Good afternoon, sir. If it's afternoon for you, I'm going to fly them all. They're all around the pole. Yeah, they'll all fly. I'm going to have this entire summer, because I discovered round the pole, didn't I, during COVID, and nobody was allowed out, as you know. Although where we live, we got a wood right beside us, so everyone was discovering the woods and the walks, which was great. So, to be honest, I've got to say, apart from, you know, catching it every so often, we had a great lockdown. There was a chat thing on the radio a little while ago about people ringing in saying how much they enjoyed lockdown simply because they didn't have to see relatives. And everyone's got their reasons for enjoying lockdown, but we could go up through the woods. Next to the woods at the start of it anyway, there's a busy-ish road, and it was dead quiet. All you could hear was the birds. It was really lovely, and you met lots of lovely people walking, mostly dog walkers, because they knew the route anyway, but we didn't. And we discovered we got some lovely woodland walks, because we're sort of fairly newish to the area, this area. And so yeah, we had a great lockdown. The only thing is, because I still had to work, because I worked at the hospital. So, but apart from that, I had to work. No one wants to work, do they? And now, you know, guys, I'm retired, so I can play around with model aeroplanes between chores. I was telling you just now about I've got a new video. It's on. I've uploaded it, but I haven't made it public yet. It's still private. But it's the start of my new series of Balsa visiting other guys' workshops. And I've got one in the can, another one booked for next week, and another one after that. And it's going to be great. What's Drone saying now? I enjoyed it as well. Yep, we are very lucky where we live. It was horrid for the children not seeing their friends, etc. The alcohol bans were a touch dodgy, but ways were found. Yeah. Yeah, all our kids are growing up, so it didn't bother them particularly. But we got a garden, and you felt so sorry for people that like lived in flats and stuff. They must have been climbing the walls. Not very nice at all. But that's where I decided to do some around the pole, rekindle my interest. Can't stop flying, can you? Unless you're on the flight sim. Yeah. So Chris is just saying how he fancies a Lysander, and I don't know who bought it in the club. Let's say there was one from a estate sale that came in. I did have one aeroplane from that sale. I can't think which one it was now, but the Lysander, it had a 4-stroke, and as you know, I'm not a globe person at all. This little thing looks filthy, but I don't think it is. I think it's the camouflage. The thing is, Chris, you haven't got room like me. You haven't got room for large models. You haven't got room for small models. You're going to love flying that little. Oh, propeller's coming off. Sinbad, Chris. It's going to be so gentle to fly. It's just going to go out your hand at half throttle, and it's just going to be. Of course, you're not used to flying rudder elevator, are you? You ailerons. Oh, Bob Flyman is in the house. Good afternoon, Bob. What are we saying? Enjoyed the wildlife too during the lockdown. Yeah, foxes, riding my bike along empty roads. Yeah, it was great. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I think a lot of people did. For those people that wanted to see their relatives and stuff, Not so good, I guess. I think that's where Zoom actually, wasn't it? Zoom came from nowhere to prominence because anyone could use it. I should have done some live streams as well. I think I did do a live stream on Facebook actually, on around the pole. It was let's do another one. Just cleaning all my planes I've been given. Just reading Chris's comment there about flying just on rudder elevator, because he's really learnt on aileron. You'll find that to turn, you've just got to pull in a bit of elevator as well, and then it'll turn. This is filthy, this one. Blimey, this one must have been on the top of the pile. These were all covered in nylon, guys. If you haven't heard, which makes them incredibly tough. I could probably sit on it and hurt myself before it broke. I think they are water-based because they're curling a bit. Yeah, they are water-based. Do you mention it because they're all going to come off? I could always spray the models with a light coat of matte lacquer, but they are curling here and there. But I'll stick them down with some CA or something just to keep them on. The canopies are a little bit. They've got tape or something around them, and it's coming off a little bit. But let's just do the underneath of that. Big lump of fluff there. Let's get a new tissue. But I like this one because it's got this big cheeky fat fuselage, and it's got this big cheeky fat undercarriage, which will handle my lawn great. I call it a lawn, of course. No, it's not a Martlet. Is this the one you're talking about, Mr. Great Tit? Do you really like great tits? They're very pretty birds, aren't they? How heavy are they? I'll tell you how heavy they are, Chris. They're about 4 ounces, which when you think a rubber-powered version would be about 1 ounce. That rather puts it into context, doesn't it? This one may be slightly lighter. Let's just weigh it out of curiosity. I've got a new scale here. I've got one that goes up to 100 grams, but it's surprising how many models are actually just over, like the Spitfire wanted to weigh properly. What's going on here? Oh, I'm pressing buttons now. It says 100. Why is it saying 180? Let's just press. Oh, there we go. Is that it? So, oh, I think I pressed memory. Oh dear, I've broken this. Oh dear. Only happens on live TV, doesn't it? Do you remember, if you're in this country, there was a series called Blue Peter, which was for kids. And let me turn it off and on again. And I think that might be it. 0. And they used to make things. It was interesting. They go out and do things and what have you. I don't think that's still working. Oh yes, it is. Okay, this one weighs. That's 99 grams. Could have weighed it on my other one. Then see, that's 99 grams. So that's the lightest, probably, apart from the little tiny one. What's PCS stand for? I don't know. In ounces, which makes more sense to me. This one's quite light at 3.5 ounces. Like I say, this is a small wing. A model, if that was just rubber powered, you'd want it under 1 ounce to fly well. Yeah, so that's that one. What plane is this? Oh, yeah. Gudgeon. Read the instructions. No, I'm English. We don't read instructions, and I'm not sure that the thing came with instructions. If you can read Chinese, there's instructions. So no, you know how they work. You just press a few buttons and all. This is what plane? It's a Wildcat. Yeah, thank you, Barry. I've got 2 of them, which is good. So that one's done. I think it just leaves the other half of the Mustang, which I didn't do. I just did one half to see how it looked a couple of days ago. There was a TV series called in the UK called Steptoe and Son, about a couple of guys, father and son, who lived in well, it wasn't a scrapyard, it was just a rag and bone. They were rag and bone men, and they had all sorts of stuff around the place. But the old man was horrible, and the son fancied himself as a bit of a womanizer and entrepreneur. And on one episode, they cleaned just one half of the living room because the old man didn't want it cleaned, and of course it looked fantastic. The other half looked rubbish. Yeah, that's what that just reminded me of, that one episode. Right, so underneath, yeah. I'm just going to have so much fun. I'm going to share all the fun as well, guys. This is going to be great. And if we can get 2 flying at once, that's going to be really exciting. Because I did fly 2 at once myself, but as ready control models. So I had to set one up flying and then get the other one airborne. And that was my Tiger Moth and another de Havilland. Can't remember which one it was. Must be in the other room. Okay, Mustang clean, yellow nose. I don't know if you can see it on the wall. I've never made any other foreign models really. There's a Mustang. I don't know if you'll be able to see it if I twist you up and then bend you up, loosen that off. Up there you go. There's another Mustang. That's a Willy Nilly Mustang. Willy Nilly's is an American manufacturer of small models, which my friend Jerry sent over to me, along with another model which I've yet to build, which is up on the shelf. I will get around to it, Jerry, if you watch this, because it's very pretty. It's an American light plane. All right, last one to wash is the Camel. Do you know why they're called the Sopwith Camel? You might do. If I put that there, it's not as glary. Look, you might know. No, you're right. I think I knew that, Mr. Tit. Yes, I did know that. The Martlet was also the name of a biplane, between wars biplane, which I've got half built the other side of the wall here. Isn't that amazing, actually? If I was to get the models down from the loft, because at the moment I've got all my backfires in the loft under cover. I've got some models in the garage, which are, there's a couple of started but not finished. When we moved house, they sort of just got shelved for a minute. And I've also got actually an EDF ducted fan Red Arrow, It's quite an early one. In fact, I think, yeah, I have. It's oh, there's a broken strut there. It's got a very low power fan unit in it, and it's this one here. Actually, I took it out for just to examine it. It's a 5-blade fan. I mean, nowadays it's got 8, 12 blades, so I don't know how efficient that would be, and I'm not sure what size motor. But it's a kit, and you've got to fit the ailerons onto. I think it's foam core wings, but they're all finished. But you still got to hinge the ailerons and control surfaces, and the fuselage is lightweight fiberglass molding. Very, very nice gel coat finish in red, and it was missing the canopy. And I looked on eBay, and a guy had a canopy for sale. I thought, I can't believe that. And with the canopy also comes the floor and the instrument panel pod and all that sort of thing. So I bought that and I put it in the box, thinking I must get round to making that one day. It's one of those things that bought it at it was a sale of somebody's estate, and I thought that's so cheap I couldn't not buy it. I think I've got to put servos in and everything, so it's not like a modern day RTF. It needs quite a bit of work to put it together, but it's brand new in the box. Can't think of the make. So there we are. There's the camera. I love the color of that. You know why, don't you? Because it's got all this sort of stripes, and it looks like it's right there on the western front. Oh, I was saying, you know why it's called a camel? Sopwith Camel, because the hump where the machine gun is, it was just nicknamed the Camel because it's got this hump where the machine gun is. So I believe that's what I was told, or read, or whatever. That's all of the models I've cleaned, isn't it? They're all. Oh, I haven't cleaned the Hurricane. How did I miss that one out? So I think the Gree guys, quite a collection of aeroplanes here. I don't think I cleaned it, did I? No. So the Hurricane is very poorly and will need some remedial work. And funnily enough, this is a Q-Croft Hurricane. At our last indoor meeting, or the Christmas one down at Wynnard's Perch, they have a little drawer just at the hat, and you can pick a prize from the table. And so my instructions just were to take down anything that, you know, would make a good prize that I wouldn't mind not winning back. And I took down a Grillo's Hurricane kit, which I bought on eBay. It's only slightly cheaper than if I bought it from, I buy my Grillo's kits from Model Shop Leeds. And they're very good there, and they've got a good selection. Although my local shop does have a couple of Grillo's kits, but because they're not very popular, but there's no one around here that I know of that builds rubber powered kits and flies them. I was up the flying field, I think it was the summer before last, the local football field, flying field. And I was flying one of my Mike Race's models, and this old boy walked up and said, "Oh yeah, I used to build rubber powered models and all the rest of it." I said, "Well, this is radio controlled." He said, "Radio controlled?" It was I think it was the Camel I was flying. He couldn't believe it. He said, "I must take a photograph of this for my brother in Canada." I can't believe it. And yeah, it is unbelievable. If you can remember the day when this was it, I mean, this is what we built as teenagers, 14, 15. They've come a long way, haven't they? 50 years ago. Oh, God. 50 years. So I do like that. That's nice. Again, all the canopies are made out of, they're not molded, they're handmade, apart from the Mustang. Yeah, I like that. That looks nice. Let's have a sip from my It's That Friday feeling mug. Lovely. 26 of you watching. Hello, everybody. Let's see if I've got 26 thumbs up on the video. Let me I can't see, I can't scroll on this, but if you're watching, give the clicker thumbs up. Why not, eh? It's a lovely Sunday afternoon, overcast here. We did have a little bit of sunshine earlier, but it's just in 26, 27. So how am I going to fix this wing then? It'll have a bit of, this wing is straight apart from the really wonky trailing edge, but it's quite solid. So I think maybe I might just leave that, because to mend that, I'm going to have to do a lot of breaking. I don't particularly want to, you know, it's holding together quite nicely and it won't affect the flight much. But this wingtip certainly will affect the flight. The flap must have struck something, or someone sat on it or something. So all four, the two main spars and the leading and trailing edge are broken, and to get in there, I'm going to have to open it up. Yeah, I'm going to have to cut away. I might be able to, like I did with the SE5, I might be able to keep the covering. If I cut it back and peel it off, I might be able to rebuild it all and then put the covering back down. That would be a good idea. Gudgeon, I don't know if you're still watching. Oh, you are. You've said something. I was just going to say. So it's snowing in Iceland. You've got a lot of news again about volcanoes. Hopefully you're not affected by. I don't know if it's the original one that was. It cut through a load of water pipes. That's what the headlines were, anyway. I would swap smoke for this rain, and I'll tell you why. 21 lights isn't bad, Paul. I'll tell you why I would swap. It's because I've fitted skis on my Keelcraft Ajax model, and I want to fly it on skis, if only round the pole. Oh, it's the same, is it, Gudgeon? Right. Who did I see? Slow Flyer 85. That's a nice name. As long as you're not 85 years old. Maybe you are, and that's why you need a Slow Flyer. I'll have to watch the video if Jeff. Yeah, I must have missed that one. It says no, you're 67. Oh, you're a couple of years older than me. It's my birthday on the 20th. So there you are. I'm getting up to a ripe old age of 65. I'm on Bob's TV. What was Jeff asking? Something about, you've gone off the top, Jeff. Something about watching. Oh, were you saying watching on PC? I'm doing you guys on my little laptop here because it's handy for me to put it in here. Yeah, you're right. It does. Everything does stop. Mind you, I don't know if you saw the Chinese thing. Could do, Bob. Yeah, sounds good. Oh, David, that's interesting. So you're an Aquarius then, David. I think it's cusp is the 20th, isn't it? Heavy rains in Florida. You always think of these nice places like Florida to be the sunshine and everything, but it must rain. Paul's 70. Well, it's nothing, is it? 70 is the new 50, isn't it, really? I know loads of 70-year-olds who are pretty fit. Look at Bruce. He's got the body of an 18-year-old. Colin, 42. That's the meaning of life, the universe, and everything, if you know your Hitchhiker's Guide. So, shall I cut the bottom of this wing off now, or shall I carry on with the SE5? I might have another look at this one now, because I think the patch that I put on earlier has dried. Yeah, so I've patched up the wing on this. So this was broken and now it's fixed. Done a video on it, of course. I tell you what, actually, it was really funny. Well, it wasn't funny, it was annoying. I did the intro to all this Van der Poel stuff, and the building of the first half of the wing for the SE5, and then I realised that it wasn't recording, so I've had to start again on that, and I have done. But all you guys on the live stream, you know all about it before the video comes up, which would be cool. I do like this. It looks like it shouldn't be all green, really, but do you know what? Up on the shelf there, I've got I've got a vintage model company Sopwith triplane to build. Always loved the triplanes. We saw one, a replica, flew down over an air show locally 10 years ago when I was flying my little microlight. And it didn't land, but oh boy, the maneuverability of it was fantastic. But the big thing on that day was a pair of Mustangs. I think one was privately owned. I have a feeling it was Canadian. And those two machines, goodness me, they flew in formation and they came around onto it was a grass strip. They came down the strip, and you thought the noise they made, if you were on the ground as enemy, just the noise of them would put the fear of God into you. What an aeroplane. Let's just catch up with the comments. Oh, open her up. I could do. I plan on living to over 100. Yeah, why not? I'm not sure what shape I'm retired and gave up math calculations. Yeah. I always hated maths. Popping in saying hi, Saska Frask, good afternoon. Got to get back to work. Oh boy, working on a Sunday. Oh, I used to, so yeah. Cool Cat's in the house as well. Hello, Cool Cat. Jeff, do for us every day's a holiday. It is every day. Every day's a Saturday, someone said, and it is great. Snap many of the double-edged razors in half, and that's the bloody skull. Yeah, those razors, they were wicked, weren't they? You had to put tape down one side, but you could get razors which had a back on them, couldn't you? And you could press hard then until modelling knives came out. All right, I'll open her up. Let's open her up. I might have to change my glasses to do it though, because these focus on the screen. I was going to plug something else in. Just let me plug in my other. I've got a couple. Oh, it's not there. Where is it? Come out, wherever you are. Bear with me a second, guys. I think I left it in here. No, I didn't. Oh dear. Never mind. I was going to plug in. I've got a pair of Rode wireless mics, which I haven't used for a couple of years, and I thought would be rather good to use for the. I charged one up. Don't know what I've done with the other one. Must be around here somewhere. They're wireless mics, and they're good for windy conditions. Ian's in the house. Hi, Ian. And because they're but they're also good for like interviewing and stuff. So when I'm going in, when I do my not hanger chats, all will be revealed. I think this might be broken. Yes, it's broken up there, and there. I've got to be careful not to cut into the top surface. Is this the sharp one? It is, yeah. So this is nylon, lightweight nylon, and it's, there we go. I'm in over the top of the main spot, down the other side. There's one chap I watch. He does a lot of live streams. It's called Aero Ergo. This is hard to cut. And but what's his nationality? Spanish. He's Spanish. But he does, when I say hi, he does speak in English. But his mother tongue is Spanish, but he does a lot of live streams and foamy stuff, and occasionally it'll pop up on my stream. I'll watch his stuff for a minute, but because I haven't got a clue what he's talking about. Do you know what would be really good? Would be if YouTube would automatically, you can on the app, it'll convert it, but Like if someone came on the live stream now and spoke in their mother language on the text, it would immediately convert it to, you know, your language. Not only that would be even cooler if it would convert the spoken voice as well, at least into captions, if not into like a robotic voice in your own. I think there's a chap I watched, Flybrave, he's German. Oh, this is stuck pretty well to this main spar. I don't know if I can. Actually, because it's broken, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut through the main spar at an angle, and I should be able to join a new piece of wood, completely cut out the broken piece, because I don't think I can separate the covering from the balsa wood anyway. Let's just put a lot of pressure on without putting any pressure on, if you know what I mean. There we go, nice shallow angle. Yeah, just talking about, hello. Yeah, Chris is talking about Chris's sin bag. It looks fantastic in that see-through purple. Brought to you courtesy of the purple screwdriver. That purple screwdriver's got a lot to answer for. Come on, this must be one hard piece of wood. This is 1/16 square balsa, and I'm trying to go through in a controlled way. There we go. Okay, we're in. Let me just nick that there. Okay, now all is revealed. What I'm going to do, I'm going to leave it attached on the front so as I can stick it back down and it slipstreams in the wind, but I'm going to have to, actually I'd planned to film this. Maybe I can edit this into something else if I have time. You know, you guys have got YouTube channels yourself. Doesn't it take a time to edit and put everything together? The interview I did in the garage of my my first interviewee, it was unfortunate, but I didn't realise that the fluorescent light in the garage was going to interfere with my hat cam. Had my ordinary camera running, which was fine, wasn't affected, but the hat cam set to 60 hertz. I've set it now to 50 hertz, and I don't think the pulsing of the light, because I think they flash about 60 times a second, affected it. So a lot of the filming which I'd filmed, I didn't use because of this filming pulsing, but I've had to use some of it. Okay, so I've got one very very interestingly shaped main spar, broken, of course. I can see why it broke there as well, because the grain is running diagonally in the spar instead of straight down. Is anyone saying anything that's going to help? One of those you're live and out. I just found out about this week, Cliff, an amazing amount of work. Yes, yeah, it isn't, but it's very enjoyable. I mean, it's not like it's see if I can just put a little bit of CA on that main spar to start. I do like the editing side of things, and that was the other thing I was saying about my Rode. Let me just hold that a minute. My Rode wireless mics, they're brilliant in the wind, so I can cut out all the wind noise, which is a bit distracting. Not very nice. Let me just hold that a sec. Now I need a piece of wood. I've got loads of wood behind me, but that's going to be bent as flat as it can. I've got the trailing edge is going to be interesting to mend because it's actually under the nylon, which is stuck really well to it. This is holding it together in effect. I wonder if I could put just a great big piece of balsa wood in there. Let me fix that main spar first. Am I missing anything? Yes. What's the rotor diameter of your new helicopter, Ian? It's going to take many hours to put that together. It's a real one for the enthusiasts to watch that, isn't it? Oops, mine those airplanes, Cliff. Let's just get a bit of scrap here. It's a nice piece of fairly hard wood. In fact, if I'm just wondering if I should glue a small short piece of carbon in there, you know. Could be worth trying. The other option is to cut this spar. I cut it at an angle, I know, but if I cut more flush, I could just put one deep spar in. I think I'll do that actually. Let's see if we can get through that. Worst thing about talking to camera when video making for my channel is when neighbour's dog starts barking. Yeah, well, the bin man. Just short of 1 meter. I'll tell you what annoys me when I'm filming: the seagulls, which make a nuisance of themselves, and I've got to chase them away. Neighbours probably think I'm mad, but I'm trying to video here, and in the summertime I've got the window open and all you can hear is screaming gulls, which you know, isn't good. I have edited out their screaming, or if they start doing their screaming, I'll stop the sentence, wait for them to finish, because they do finish, and then start again and then edit that piece out. This is going to be tricky because it's such a piece of hard main spar. I'm tempted to solve that. I think I will actually. Let's get in with the big guns. Am I missing anything? Okay, Chris, nice for you to look in, mate. My turn to make dinner. Oh yeah, Sunday lunch. What's the time? 5 o'clock. I've been running an hour and a half. Oh dear, I thought, what am I going to talk about for half an hour? Come on, sore throat. At least if this was tissued, this would be really difficult to, oh, there we go. This would be really difficult to manhandle about like this. It just wouldn't allow you to do it. Be very careful. "29 of you still here." Very fiddly work. I think build videos are good, Ian, because people do need to, people will refer back to it over and over. So you're doing the company a big favor, but not only that, of course, you're doing the little tips along the way as well, which are invaluable. These are great, these nail files for doing stuff like this. I know you can make your own sanding blocks, but just to buy a box of these nails files, they've got 2 grades of sandpaper on, and they're nice and flat. I first used one when I was making my micro aces. I think John put one in the kit. I think he definitely offers them on his website, but then they're cheap enough to buy, and they make life really easy. Isn't it nice? The nights are drawn out now. So it's nearly 5 o'clock and I can still be out flying. Okay, doesn't it look good when you start getting rid of broken bits? Now I'm going to cut this. That looks like a reasonable edge. Let's just clean it up. And now I'm going to cut this to the same width as that, about there. Cut it slightly over and sand it in, about there, to a depth of about there, and I can cut it perfect in a minute. And this will not only strengthen up the bottom. Yeah, good, it's over length. Strengthen up the top main spar, but it'll also form, it'll look like a dummy, well, it'll look like a main spar when it's recovered. Now it's not going to, that top main spar is so damaged, it's not going to It's not going to lay flat. I was just wondering if I should put it on the side of it actually. It's an idea. It's not going to be flat, but so I could always make a new wing completely, because you can get the plans from AutoZone. It did, Ian. Actually, it flew really nicely. I'm glad I test flew it out of doors on that lovely cool morning. That was good. But it did fly. I'm looking forward to flying it next Sunday down at Wynnards because it's such a big place. I've got about 8 or 9 2S batteries, small ones, but I can recharge halfway through the day if I want. It won't make any difference if this is on the top of that spar or beside it. It'll be glued to it. Oh, but then it won't line up. No, I'm going to put it on the top. It's going to go on the top. Let me turn that back over and just tidy up that. It's fun, guys, isn't it? 28 of you. I'll tell you what, I'm glad there's not 28 of you all sitting around here. Can you imagine that? I don't think the room would be big enough. And it wouldn't be quiet either, would it? Right, now, because the main spar's curved, this has to be curved to fit. So I'm going to cut a sort of a curve into this bit of wood and tailor it exactly to fit. It's my cutting board. It's not. It's my cutting board with all my lovely stickers on. Oh look, I meant to stick my BMFA sticker on there. Oh, I forgot, and I've stuck it on the flight box now. Oh well. I've also stuck a Jeff in Lower Alabama sticker on the flight box because I've got a few of those. Jeff's very generous with his stickers. That's not bad fit actually. In fact, what I might do is glue that in and then cut it to fit afterwards. Cut the top surface and then it'll fit perfectly. And I'll tell you what else I'm going to do. I'm just going to turn my phone on in case I get a call. There we go. Because I'm always expecting a phone call. Right. Let's just move those glasses a minute. Am I missing any conversation? When your cat visits, you lose space. Lose face? I don't have space, Jeff. The cat is big, but she's starting to lose. She's starting to lose her winter coat because it's artificially warm at the moment. If you want to see my daughter's cats, her boyfriend won't go near one of them because his bottom teeth stick outside of his lip, and he looks like he's a rather fierce werewolf or something. But they're big black cats. Oh, that's a nice fit. That's a bit of luck. Okay, now what am I going to glue that in with? I think I'll run a bead of CA along the bottom and then along the top, up the sides, and then trim it to shape. Come on. These pipettes are good, but how many of you are in your workshop actually working? I know if you're still here, you might have gone home for tea, but I know, I bet you, Gudgeon, I bet you're in the workshop, aren't you? Unless you've disappeared and I've missed your goodbye. I don't think that was in quite the same position, but too late now. Because what I normally do is I'll watch like Jeff's live stream recorded, because obviously it's 12:30 midnight, while I'm modelling and not filming, and then it's great then. Yeah. Oh, don't you work in your? Oh, okay. Is that a religious thing, or you're just not allowed? I squeeze in here whenever I can. Oh, is that going to come out? Yep. Okay. And that side. Yep. And that side. and down there. A little bit more. These pipettes are good, aren't they? Okay, so that's sort of repaired. So that's going to be the angle of the wing. Not too bad considering what it was. Now I'm going to cut that off level with the top with a scalpel and a straight edge. A straight edge. Something made of metal. How about that? Something there. I did look into a piece of software that would speak the comments as they came in, and that saves me having to change glasses. Could have it in a voice of somebody famous. Arnie would be good. Too hot in Perth to go anywhere. Oh no. Got a week of 40 plus coming up. Hello Ian, are you going then, are you? Tea time, bye. Yep, bye. Cheers Ian. Ron's going to be sanding his Pacific Ace. Very nice. 9 AM here, so coffee and laptop at kitchen table, trying to decide which kit to build next. Excellent. What's the choice then? Look at that, that's gone in okay. I'm just going to sand that little edge down slightly. When you're repairing a model, it's always fun. But when you're repairing a model that you didn't build, I always feel like I'm in somebody else's shoes for a while. So now that's the main spar done then, but the trailing edge, say it's well encased inside the nylon. I'm thinking I'll just put a great big gusset in that corner, and at least it'll bind that to the rib. Here's a nice piece of wood. The good thing about these models is it's not quite, is it? No, not quite 90. Is they don't take much material to build, repair, maintain. I'll offer this in a minute. Less than 90, so about there. Let's just see how we get on with that. This is only a guess. Let's offer it up. Oh, that's pretty good. That's pretty good, I've got to say, actually. And I'm going to make life easy for myself and bring that right up to the surface. So as when I put the covering back down, it'll glue directly onto that. Yeah, I think I'm going to CA that in, and I'm going to, the way I do it is just to put a big pool of it, enough, being end grain. Oops, it doesn't matter. Being end grain, it's going to soak it up really fast. So wipe it there, and then come back around and getting it up to the right level. Come on, turn. That's not bad. Push it in tight. And that is pretty much that's pretty much fixed. I'm just going to put a little bit of CA there and there, and I'm going to, it's a little bit proud on that corner, but I'm just going to sand it flush to the trailing edge, which is a bit of a mess anyway, so it's not going to notice. Okay. Well, it's not bending on the brake anymore, so we'll call that fixed. Now that just leaves the leading edge. Oh, what does that mean? I don't know how you pronounce canny and gapper, whatever. I don't know what UA means. Canny, hi. Well, Jeff knows Canny, so hi, Canny. I don't know what UA means. Probably it's hi or something. I'm jealous of you Brits. We don't have a phase that's equivalent to offer it up. At least not one I can be. Really? Oh, did I say offer it up? I must have done. Yeah. Offer it up. I remember somebody saying once on a home DIY show, the host was saying, "Oh, I don't do DIY myself. All that infernal offering up." I think that's funny, but it's quite true. You've got to offer it up, haven't you, all the time to just trying to get this old broken main spar for the inside of the coupling. But you couldn't do this if this was tissue; it would just fall apart. Yeah, that's a good phrase. Well, if you don't say offer it up, what would you say? Compare it? I don't know. Come on, off you come. The funny thing about doing repairs, if you're really good at doing repairs, nobody knows how good you are. If you're bad at doing repairs, people can say, well, I didn't make a bad job of that. Genuinely say it, not being nasty. But it's, you want to make such a good repair, nobody knew it was even broken. Just got to get this balsa wood off this nylon. How are we doing? Gosh, hour and 46 minutes. Thanks for sticking with us, guys. Don't feel you have to. If you've got stuff you want to be doing, I would be out flying. I've got another interview booked next week with a chap who's got the same name as my son, Christian name and surname. And I have phoned them the wrong ones sometimes, but it went really well, and I learned a lot. I made a couple of mistakes, but I learned a lot. So the next one's going to be even better. As I say, I still haven't made it live, but I will do, probably in the week, because I've made 2 videos live this weekend, and I think that's enough. Oh, it's coming off, nearly there. Getting a bit dusty. The only problem with sanding in a room that you store models in, as Chris will find out, you get a thick layer of dust on them. I've made a commitment this year. I will be flying my Fokker triplane again, and maybe even the Sopwith Camel, which I haven't flown for maybe 3 years. I've got some great airborne. Put the camera in that and got some great airborne video. I'll tell you, airborne video. Dominic Mitchell of Essential RC put a video up earlier on. I think it was just for members at the moment. FPV in a Spitfire, and oh, what a fantastic way to go, because you actually, you can look right and left and look down that lovely wing shape. And so we're getting there. I think there's it's going to be a small gap there, but so that's trailing edge, main spar fixed, just the leading edge to go. And come to think of it, it doesn't. I don't think the leading edge was broken. I think it was just. Or was it? No, I don't think it is. Hard to tell under all that nylon. It wouldn't harm to put a big gusset in this corner anyway, so I'll do that. Whoever covered this has done it in the wrong order. I noticed on the tail plane of one of the others, they covered the top first and then the bottom, and you end up with the cut edge going around the corner. Right, let's cut another gusset. Anyone saying anything? Hello, Cliff. Hi, Eric. See if it fits. Yeah, that's one expression. Do a test fit. Test fit, yeah. Right, let's cut a smaller gusset this time. I'll cut it like that. Very important, as you guys know, if you're modelers, to have the grain of the gusset right on this side, else it doesn't do a lot of good. Oh, that one's a poor guess. Yeah, let me cut off a bit off the back of that. a little sand. Let's try that again. Yeah, it does. Watching other people, it does cut down your building time, Ron. It does. Right, that's nearly there. Just want to take off a little bit more off that corner. Okay, this should be getting close. Yes, that'll do. That'll do. Okay. So I'm going to put down another puddle of CA. I don't know what happened to the last one. I must have put my finger in it or something. It was funny the other day. I was painting some black on the Spitfire, and I just got the brush full of paint, and I normally just paint a little bit off to get the bulk of it out, and it flicked around and it landed on my trousers, brush side down, and I'd only just changed them, and then it was a big panic to try and get the paint out without it spreading and, you know, making a total mess. Anyway, let's just pop this in there, a bit higher. Come on, don't drop off. There we go. Set. Okay, let's just wipe that puddle up before I put my arm in it or something. Okay, that is nearly fixed. Now, how does that actually look as a repair? Okay, we've got a bit of, well, it's a right mess, isn't it? But the wing is solid now anyway. At least it's not bent up. I wouldn't like to say I could hold it on that. Actually, I think that main spar feels broken, and that one is as well, actually. They're all, those two top ones are broken, but the bottom ones are stretched. Although it's saying that, is that one got a crease? That might be broken, but you know what? That wing is going to hold up. That's going to do. It's not going to, and it is slightly warped, but it's the right side, so it's going to drop that wing, which is on the outside. So, well, I've just got to see it. Let's just pop that bit of transfer back down. Sticking onto nylon is almost impossible, but let's just pop that down. Even CA has a tough job. Contact glue would be the thing. That looks like I didn't clean that wing properly. So where are we now then? Oh yeah, we were looking at that. Now, anything to read? You got a biplane to finish. What biplane is that then, Ron? What are you building? They're twice the trouble, aren't they? Twice as nice, really. That's what I mean. So all I've got to do now is put a small piece of wood along here just to give me a ledge to stick that back down on. And I'd say that was done. Because I did exactly the same on the SE5. And it's a good way of doing it. And it does maintain the transfer as well, which I'd only have to have sort of tried to touch in with paint. So what are we doing? Coming up to 2 hours. Yeah, it's a bit of Goldwing. I built something once. Goldwing, what was it? Not a Mew Gull. I nearly bought a Mew Gull. Actually, a friend of mine was giving up through eyesight, really, and he was he had a Mew Gull. It was an own design, and I think he had stretched wings on it slightly. I don't know why. It was a glider guider. And I looked at it and I ummed and ahed. It was white. It had nice fairings. There's something strange about the fairings. I can't think what it was. Something clever. But oh yes, building the biplane. Yes, on the community page. I'll say yes. I can't remember what it was. Was it the not the foamy. Hey, talking of foamies, you know, I've had this idea. I don't know if I should reveal it yet or not. Hi, Jamo. A nice cup of tea in my Cliff Harvey mug today. Oh, excellent. Yes, that was one of my 4 choices of mugs. I said to Sal, I'm going to drink out the first mug that I come to, and it was Chris's. But mine was there, and Mike Grace's mug was there, and my Nick's mug, you know, Baron Flights. Why is that pulsing in the corner? It must be that light. Or is it the fluorescent? Oh, it's a fluorescent, but bouncing off the bolster. Yeah, I've got this idea for a new project. You know, I've got this silver blanket, which I'm not going to use anymore. Many years ago, I built I think it's 48-inch diameter flying disc, and it had like a shark's fin top on it, just big elevons on the back, OS 40 on the front, no undercarriage. But do you know what? That was the easiest model I've ever flown. It was so stable. Loops were quite tight, but the rolls were just twinkle. It was incredible. And I thought it might be fun to build a foam board version. And I've got all that silver blanket, just spray it all up, whack on this highly reflective silver, and no undercarriage, just sort of, or I might have a sort of a fin underneath, might make it easy, and just electrify it, because I've got all the bits, and I've got absolutely all the bits to build it. So you know, and that's going to look, but because foam board is what, no wider than a couple of foot, 50 inches, 60 inches, centimeters rather, a couple of foot. I don't particularly want to join it or anything, but then I thought I could make a double skinned one, so it's thicker in the middle and tapering down on the edges. I don't know aerodynamically if that wouldn't be as good as a bit of flat board or not, but it would look more realistic, wouldn't it? You know, whenever you see a flying saucer, they're always fatter in the middle, and that would also give me somewhere to hide the radio gear, because in the one I built before, it had a pod on the top, which you couldn't see because obviously it was on the top, but I covered it in silver solid film, and it looked good, but nothing like that Roswell type space blanket, which is really good. It's sort of like a nut board, Jeff, but the nut boards have got the tip dihedral, haven't they? And there was a guy flying one on one of the channels this week and not having much luck with it, but it gives it a lot of stability, I think, with the tips bent up. But mine was just completely flat, and it just flew like it was on rails. It would just, you know, you put it into a turn, it would just stay in a turn, but it was super easy to fly and land. Those landings, of course, with sort of ground effect, were great. So I think I'm just looking at that space blanket. I think I'm gonna use that and just make something real quick. In fact, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to start it this very evening and see how far I get. I might I'll look out for the community tab, and I'll put something up there at the end of play today, and we'll see how far I've got. Okay. So the time now is 5:30 nearly. So I'll probably start at about 7 o'clock. And we'll see how far I get. So sort of 10 o'clock, I'll put on the community tab a flying saucer of some sort. It might not be covered, because I've got to cover it with spray adhesive, and I don't want to be spraying it in the house because it wafts around everywhere and it'll be dark outside. So, but I'm going to see how far I'm going to get. There's a challenge I've set myself. You can't beat a good challenge. I'm using a thicker foam for the fuselage and foam board for the rest. Ah, yes. That's your biplane, Eric, yeah. You see, the foam board we get is just that. I don't know if I've got a bit here. It's in the other room, really. It's just that 6mm. No, it's all in the other room. 6mm paper board each side, and I thought, well, it is quite. you know, it's lackluster. If I'm going to cover it in that stuff, I thought, well, if I make it maybe 2 layers, obviously it's twice the weight then, and then run a piece of balsa around the outside edge just to sort of give it a bit of you know, dentability, stop that hanger rash. Be all right. You could put LED strips. I suppose I could put LOs. I don't propose to fly it around the neighbourhood because it's going to be too fast. But you could put LEDs right around the edge, especially if they were rotating LEDs. I don't know much about that sort of thing, so I don't know. But I could always add that anyway. Yeah, it's a great idea. Okay, guys, 2 hours in, my throat is starting to feel like I'm running out of talk. So I'm going to stop here, and I'm going to eat my lovely Sunday roast, and I'm going to, thanks, Mr. Tit. I'm going to make a start on that model, and in 3 hours time, well, 4 or 5 hours after tea, I'm going to make a start and see how far I get on the flying saucer, I suppose it is. Yeah, okay, guys, thank you very much for looking in, and it's been a pleasure as usual. And look out for the video that I'm going to post with the first video of the Balsa Basher chat with Rob and his twin engine Beech. And I'll see you in the next video. So thank you very much. Ham and beans for the, oh yeah, the Super Bowl. Isn't that some sort of, is that like golf or something? Okay. Thank you all. And thank you, Colin, for your donation. That's great, mate. It does help immensely. And Jeff, see you, everybody. I'm going to press end stream, and then I've got to press Are You Certain? And that'll be that. Yes, I'm going to end now. Thanks, guys. Great show. Cheers, Tunny. And Bob, yeah, I'll hold you to that, mate. Cheers. Bye.